I don't really stay tapped into all the stuff that Ryan Garcia is doing. Headlining the T-Mobile Arena against Mario Barrios. I'm reminded how big of a star he is. This card is absolutely stacked, so let's waste no time. And also, Amari Jones, 15-0 already. Amari is a bad man. 13 knockouts in those 15 victories. Both of those decisions came in fights abroad. I think that shows maybe a little bit of inexperience, some travel issues, jet lag, all stoppage victories in America, and he's coming up against Luis Arias, who unfortunately in front of our eyes has kind of entered journeyman status. In terms of name and the competition that Arias has fought, this is definitely a step up on paper for Amari Jones, but personally I think this is a little bit of an underwhelming test, and I think it's more of a power scale for Amari Jones. Can Amari get the stoppage? How dynamic is his punching ability? We've seen Arias in there with guys like Lubin, Jacobs. His best win is probably his win over a fading Jared Hurd, but the only real dynamic athletic guys that Arias has fought have been Jacobs and Lubin. And at this stage in his career, a young, powerful Amari Jones is seriously dangerous, presents a lot of similar challenges. This is a good platform for Amari. If Arias can push him the distance, I'd consider that a win for him. Melakuziev, bully, coming in against Agbeko. Agbeko definitely has the edge and experience coming into this fight, but he's had some troubles, and those troubles have pretty much all been southpaw troubles. He's shown a pretty big vulnerability to the southpaw right hook, had a very hard time dealing with that power at a certain level, and if there's one thing Bully has, it's power. He's reined it in a little bit since Gabriel Rosado cooled him off back a couple years ago. You know, he uses his high guard a little bit now, is a little bit more patient on the outside, sets up his punches, goes to the body a little bit more. Agbeko does definitely have that puncher's chance. What I'm wondering about Agbeko is how much is he taking experience from these losses versus how much is he just becoming an opponent. You know, I'm not sure how much development or adjustment we're going to see from the same vulnerabilities that he's shown in his previous fights. And I look at Bully like the young bull. Abeko's going to have a very hard time keeping off of himself. Abeko's best chance is in the early rounds. If he's got the temperament, the toughness, the experience shows, and he's able to stay in there and push Bully the distance, fair play to him. Bully's shown his power late in his last fight, shootout with Fulgham, who I think's got a lot more about him than Agbeko. I think that Agbeko is going to have a tough time going the distance. May the best puncher win. Next fight might be a little bit of an underrated matchup because people are looking at Frank Martin like he is that guy after that Rances Bartholomew knockout. Looking at Rances, I don't know exactly what he had to offer at this point in time. I think he was tailor-made for Martin. It was a great knockout, a confidence builder, but Albright is not that kind of guy to be taken advantage of. He's not going to stand straight up open for that backhand. He's got a lot about him. Frank as a 3-1 favorite in this fight is too much for me, man. This is a 50-50 fight. Albright came up short against Keyshawn Davis and Jermaine Ortiz. I don't think that Keyshawn fight's as close as some people act like it was. I also don't think Frank has shown to be on the level of those guys. I don't think Tank Davis is on the level of those guys. So I think that the jury is still out on him, and calling it a rebuild, I think that he's still out to prove himself. I think that he still needs to show that he's more than the guy that got slapped by Tank, that he's got his own legacy to build. Best of luck to him in this fight, but I think there's an argument that Albright is the best guy that he's fought. I know that might sound crazy. I know Albright's style isn't as pretty as Tank's. He's a little bit longer. He knows how to land effective counters. I think both of these guys are underrated punchers, but I think from a general standpoint, I think people look at Nahir Albright like they look at a guy like Nakatila. I think that he's on a much higher level than that. And to put it simply, I'm not so convinced that Frank has fought anyone as good as Albright. But I know that Albright's been in there with better competition than Frank. So we're going to see. I'm excited for this fight. So I think what we're going to see in this fight is a lot of push and pull. I think that we're going to see Frank mostly on the front foot, looking to push the action. And I think that we're going to see Albright looking to land with counters, score effectively, flurry with 3 or 4 punches, take back the center of the ring, work off a jab. Both guys going to be working off a jab. I think this is going to be a good boxing battle. I think it's going to go the distance. In a stoppage scenario, I'd actually favor Albright because he can be real effective with his counters. He knows how to shoe shine. He knows how to force a stoppage. He's got real good experience in there. But Frank is no joke. I'm not trying to sleep on Frank at all. But seeing he's a 3.5 to 1 favorite, I feel like I got to say, Albright is the definition of a live dog in here. So Frank's got his work cut out for him, man, and if he wins this fight, to me he's better than he's ever been. And I'd say the exact same thing about Nahir Albright. This would be a big win for him to kind of push him over that edge, set him up for a super big opportunity next. Both those guys knocking on the door, trying to show that they're the next ones up. One guy that might be in the club, Richardson Hitchins. He's getting grouped in with Keyshawn and Shakur, Haney. He's not on that level yet. I gotta say it. He has not shown, in my opinion, that level of effectiveness against the same level of competition. He has not shown effective enough power at world level to be getting as much credit as he is. And I heard Chris Algieri say that he has a world-class jab. I disagree. He's got a 74-inch reach. Yes, he was able to keep Pero on the end of his range all night. That was a very impressive victory. But countering down the middle is what it was all about. He was just as effective, if not more effective, countering down the middle with his backhand as he was with his jab. And yes, he was able to keep George Kambosos on the end of his jab. He actually felt bad at one point and stopped jabbing him because it was so easy. But that's George Kambosos, okay? And I don't think that proving jab effectiveness against George Kambosos means that your jab is world class. I'm not trying to diss him, but those are two smaller guys who fight with an in and out style. Duarte is very strong, very physical. He is a swarmer. And you look at another guy like that Hitchins fought and struggled with a lot, was Gustavo Lemos. He did not show effective power in that fight, and he did not show a world-class jab, a jab capable of keeping the pressure fighter off of him. Duarte is definitely better than Gustavo Lemos. He's a get up on your chest, beat you up. He keeps everything very tight, and that could be his downfall in this fight. And that's the stylistic clash we see time and time again, is the come forward, tight guard, Mexican style puncher versus the American style with the strong backstep, the sharp counters, controlling with the punishing jab, standing their ground, staying off the ropes, turning their opponent, creating angles. Is Hitchins at that level? Is he good enough to do that? I don't think he's shown the same effectiveness with that style as guys like Keyshawn, guys like Shakur. But in Duarte's last fight against Kenneth Sims Jr., Sims stood his ground too much, and Sims gave Duarte way too many opportunities to outwork him. Hitchins, as much as we're talking about his jab, isn't going to sit there square and try and jab with Duarte all night. He's got a nice check hook, and he likes scoring with that backhand, like shooting that backhand just as much against a righty or a lefty. So Hitchins is going to be looking to create space for himself all night, counter with the backhand, turn over the hook, dig to the body when he can. I hope he doesn't start trying to extend 2-3 punch sequences in a row, but it would help him if he could back Duarte up and to garner that respect and show that he truly does have that level of effective power, and maybe that he could punish Duarte with his jab. I'm still waiting to see it from Hitchins at this level. I think this is a fantastic fight for both guys because I'm still waiting to see it from Duarte at this level too. He doesn't have the athleticism. What he does have is the explosive punching power, and we've seen Hitchins struggle with pressure before. This is a big test for Richardson Hitchins. This would really elevate him to another level. I expect Duarte to have moments. I do expect this fight to go the distance. Duarte would need to have a lot of moments to get a decision. I think Hitchins still has something about him. I think he's definitely going to get better. Let's see how effective Duarte can be with his come forward style. Let's see if Hitchins can keep him off of him, because I feel like I'm kind of going against my better judgment off of the Lemos fight, but let's see what happens. Final prediction, Richardson Hitchins decision. Getting into the co-main event, the return of Andy Hiraoka. Hiraoka is a very tall, very dangerous two-handed puncher from Japan, currently riding a 10-fight knockout streak. His dangers are his counter punching. He wants to pull you in with his long punches and hit you with a hard uppercut, swing that right hook, but he's got vulnerabilities in that he likes to load up with the same punches, leaves his chin up there a little bit, is open to the body, as a lot of tall guys are, and likes to back up in straight lines a little bit. The guys that disrupt Russell the most are movers, but especially with the 18-month layoff of Hiraoka, and neither of these guys are active. But when neither guy's active, fundamentals shine through, and that's what Gary Antoine Russell definitely has over Andy Hiraoka, is fundamentals. He's got a beautiful high guard. He doesn't leave himself open. He's a super effective puncher who's always adapting, always making reads, and he's dangerous early too. You know, he doesn't need 3 or 4 rounds to make the reads. If he sees it, he's going to take it. So I see this as a fight where both guys are going to be riding that danger line, because in my opinion, Hiraoka kind of wants a guy that is going to come forward and play into his aggressive counterpunching. And Russell is going to do that, but Russell's going to do that with an effective high guard and a break you down style. And Hiraoka pulling back, leaving his chin open as much as he does. Russell is on a different level of guy to be doing that against, and I think that his fundamentals are going to shine through in this puncher versus puncher matchup. And I think that this could be his crowning moment. I think that he could really steal the show on Saturday night, regardless of how the fight goes. Don't blink. This is a dangerous fight. I expect this to be the Gary Antoine Russell coming out party, because that chin is there to be taken, and Russell is not the guy to leave your chin out against. So I think he's too dangerous for Hiraoka, and I think that there's just a bit of a level difference, and I think that the inactivity is going to hurt Hiraoka more than it's going to affect Russell. This one and Hitchins and Duarte are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most. Let's get into the main event.
We can never talk about, by the way, Barrios without probably doing.
Because every time I want to say, like, okay, he proved me wrong. It's, nice, he put up a good. He surprised me even more. Like, I thought, like, the Pacquiao fight, I was like, hey, he's going to fight an old man. He's going to look good this time. Like, he's going to at least give me some. Oh, he sucked even more than I thought. Like, I was like, whoa. Like, just when I thought you couldn't suck anymore, he sucked more. Right. So I was like, now I got no faith in you.
Hey, Mario Barrios, if you don't get this done against Ryan Garcia, you a sorry-ass fighter. Ryan Garcia is straight trash. Hey, doo-doo butter. Doodle butter. Yeah, Ryan, you trash.
As much as Barrios has shown an awful temperament, so has Ryan Garcia for the most part. Ryan Garcia does not like to get hit. He got hit once by Rolly Romero and didn't want to be there anymore. Ryan Garcia gets more excuses made for him than any fighter in the entire world. Mario Barrios needs to show a championship caliber. I don't think he has it, because I don't think he's a real champion. He was promoted off his interim win. Anyone who has a little bit of anything about them should beat Mario Barrios, and Ryan Garcia definitely does. He's got that crazy look back in his eye. We know he's mentally unstable. He's got real proven power. That's more than I can say about Mario Barrios. So, putting it simply, in this fight, the loser gets backed up. If you want to look at a stoppage, Ryan Garcia could swarm him. I don't think that Mario Barrios could stop Ryan. I think Ryan's too tough. I think that he's always going to punch back, try and give himself the space that he needs, and he'll go full defense mode for 12 rounds if he gets hurt, as he's shown in the past. So I don't think that Ryan Garcia is out to get stopped. I do think Ryan could swarm him, but I think it'll take some time. But guys, Mario Barrios is seriously bad, and I'm trying to be more positive, but I can't overstate this enough. This guy is probably the worst champion in boxing.